Donald Trump walks into Beijing, greeted by military parades, sharing crowds on one of the most powerful men on earth, Xi Jinping. But behind the handshakes and smiles, something much bigger was happening. Trade wars, Taiwan tensions, Iran conflict, artificial intelligence, and global powers. And then came the moment everyone noticed online. Rumors about Trump health after clips from the visit went viral. So what really happened during Trump's China visit? What does Xi and Trump discuss behind closed doors? And why is the world watching this meeting so closely? Welcome back to World Daily. Today we are breaking down one of the biggest political meetings of the year, the high-stake visit of Donald Trump to China and his face-to-face talk with Xi Jinping in Beijing. This was not just another diplomatic trip. This meeting could shape the future of US-China relation, globe trade, Taiwan artificial intelligence, oil price, and even global security. The visit came at a tense moment for the world economy and growing conflicts in the Middle East. Yet, both leaders, Xi Jinping and Donald Trump, appeared unusually warm towards each other during the summit. But beneath smiles, there were warnings, pressure, and major negotiations happening quietly in the background. Let's break it all down. The arrival that caught the world's attention. Trump arrived in Beijing to massive ceremony and security. Chinese officials rolled out one of the grandest welcome scenes in years. Red carpets, military honor, flag-waving crowds, and an elaborate reception at the Great Hall of the People. The symbolism was important. China wanted the world to see that despite tensions between both countries, communication is still very much alive. And Trump seemed impressed by the reception. Reports say to describe the discussions as extremely positive and constructive. And many observers also noticed something else. Online claims began circulating, with people speculating about Trump's health after parts of the ceremony showed him moving slowly during certain moments. Social media exploded with rumors, and that's what we want to discuss right now. However, no official medical issues were reported during the trip, and other footage showed Trump walking normally throughout the summit. But one thing you have to know is that these people are very busy and they have a lot of work at the same time. So for now, this health rumors remain speculations online and not confirmed fact. Still, the conversation added more attention to an already historical meeting. Now, why is this meeting mattered, or why is it so important to people or the world watching? This summit happened during one of the most difficult moments in US China relations in years. Both countries are competing over technology, military influence, trade dominance, AI development, and Taiwan. At the same time, global markets are unstable because of ongoing tensions connected to Iran and disruptions around oil shipping routes, especially the Strait of Hormuz. So Trump's mission in China is very clear: stabilize economic relations, reduce tension, and secure deals that could benefit the American economy. China also had its own goals to protect its economy, avoid deeper trade conflict because it's always China everywhere around the world, and prevent direct confrontation with the United States. Both leaders needed this meeting, but the discussions were far from simple, and that is one of the things we want to talk about in the next chapter. What they discussed. Trump and Jane discussed trade, which is the biggest issue. Trump reportedly pushed for larger Chinese purchases of China American goods, including aircraft, agriculture, and energy products. China's economy has been slowing down while America is also facing inflation pressure, especially with the ongoing war in Iran. Both countries know a full economic war would damage everyone. That's why officials describe the talks as efforts to strengthen a fragile trade truce already in place. So Trump wants deal he can present as victories back home. Xi wants stability without appearing weak. So it's actually a compromise for both of them. So both sides are trying to negotiate very carefully. Talk about Taiwan, the most sensitive issue. Then came the most dangerous topic, Taiwan. They reportedly warned Trump very directly that handling Taiwan could push both nations into a very dangerous situation or even conflicts. And for China, Taiwan is considered a red line. For the United States, supporting Taiwan has long been part of a strategy in Asia. So this issue begins and remains one of the biggest risks over the future global crisis, even though both leaders spoke politely in public. Analysts believe Taiwan was one of the toughest conversations they had behind closed doors, and neither side appear willing to fully back down. The next talk on the list was Iran and the Middle East. Another major topic was Iran. The ongoing Iranian conflict has affected oil markets and global ships because of the Strait of Hormuz, especially around the strait. And reports suggest that Trump pressured China to help influence Iran and stabilize the region. So you want to know or wonder why it's like that? It's because China buys large amounts of oil connected to the region, and instability affects the global economy, including China itself. So this means that the summit was not only about America and China, it was also about preventing wider international chaos and conflict. Now we move to artificial intelligence. AI was another major issue discussed by Xi and Donald Trump. Both nations are racing to dominate artificial intelligence technology. The United States wants to stay ahead technologically. China wants independence from America and other restrictions. So, this battle is not just about apps or computers anymore, it's about military systems and surveillance, global influence, and economic powers for decades to come. And both countries know whoever leads AI could shape the future of the world today. Now, the body language everybody noticed. One thing viewers around the world noticed was how warm both leaders appeared publicly. There were smiles, friendly gestures, and relaxed moments during these ceremonies. Very important. So, some analysts describe the interaction as unusually personal compared to past tense meetings. Trump even invited Xi Jinping to visit Washington later this year. Who knows if he's going to accept the invites? Well, but appearances can sometimes hide deeper disagreements because despite the warm atmosphere, the core tension between America and China remains unresolved. Now, how the visit is going so far. I know you would want to know how it is going. So, how is the visit going all over? Right now, both sides are presenting the summit as successful. This is because countries want the world to think relations are collapsing completely. The positive signs is both leaders held long meetings, no public confrontations happened, and traditional discussions continued, and diplomatic communications remained very open. But difficult reality remain. Taiwan tensions are still very high, economic rivalry continues, and the military competition between both countries, China and the US, is still growing. So while this visit may reduce tension temporarily, it does not erase a deeper struggle between the two superpowers. And while the world is watching closely, it's because the meeting between Xi Jinping and Donald Trump matters because it affects almost everyone on earth. You might think you're in Africa, it doesn't affect you. It does affect you. If relations improve, markets may stabilize, trade may improve, and global tension could reduce. But if relations collapse, the economy could suffer, the supply chain could break, and the military risk around Taiwan could rise dramatically. This is why investors, governors, governments, and ordinary people everywhere are watching this summit very carefully. This is because the relationship between Trump and Xi Jinping may influence the future of global trade, technology, energy, and international peace itself. So let's conclude this news. So here is the big question. Was this visit the beginning of the better cooperation between the United States and China, or just a temporal pause before even bigger tensions ahead? I want to know what you think in the comments. One thing is certain. When Trump and Xi Jinping meet face to face, the entire world pays attention. And behind every handshake, smiles, and public speech, there is always a deeper power game happening underneath. What do you think? Will Trump and Xi Jinping improve relations, or are America and China heading towards even bigger conflict in the future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more global stories right here on World Daily. And I will see you again in my next video. Bye for now.